All right, now we're going to do lesson number 11. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. This is the first idea we have had that is related to a major phase of the correction process, the reversal of the thinking of the world. It seems as if the world determines what you perceive. Today's idea introduces the concept that your thoughts determine the world you see. This is really key. This idea, today's idea, introduces the concept that your thoughts, your thinking, the way you think, is what determines the world you see. Be glad indeed to practice the idea in its initial form, for in this idea is your release made sure. The key to forgiveness lies in it. So these are some really, really important points that Jesus is saying. The Course in Miracles is a course that is going to train our mind so that we can begin to create miracles in our lives. And the miracles are forgiveness. That's all that they are. So the lesson states, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. What that means is that we will learn forgiveness when we begin to realize that my thoughts about what's happening out there is meaningless. So why won't I forgive myself for thinking things about the world and others that has no meaning to begin with? Let me read this line again. Sentence number 4 in paragraph 1. Be glad indeed to practice the idea in its initial form, for in this idea is your release made sure. Your peace, your happiness, your freedom, your awakening depends on you understanding this lesson. So please don't rush through it, because when we no longer believe our meaningless thoughts about the world, we will have total and complete peace of mind. Inside of that peace of mind, the thoughts of God can emerge. The knowingness of God can begin to register with us so we can begin to see things truly as they are. Paragraph 2. The practice periods for today's idea are to be undertaken somewhat differently than the previous ones. Begin with your eyes closed and repeat the idea slowly to yourself. Then open your eyes and look around, near and far, up and down, anywhere. During the minute or so to be spent in using the idea, merely repeat it to yourself, being sure to do so without haste and with no sense of urgency or effort. To do these exercises for maximum benefits, the eye should move from one thing to another fairly rapidly, since they should not linger on anything in particular. The words, however, should be used in an unhurried, even leisurely fashion. The introduction to this idea in particular should be practiced as casually as possible. It contains the foundation for the peace, relaxation, and freedom from worry that we are trying to achieve. Let me read that sentence again. It's sentence number 4 in paragraph 3. This lesson contains the foundation for the peace, relaxation, and freedom from worry that we're trying to achieve. On concluding the exercises, close your eyes and repeat the idea once more slowly to yourself. 3 practice periods today will probably be sufficient. However, if there is little or no uneasiness and an inclination to do more, as many as 5 may be undertaken. More than this is not recommended. Again, Jesus is not trying to blow our minds right off the bat. It's easing us into a new way of perceiving the world. So my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. So look at the board. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Look at the mirror. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I'm looking at the lamp. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Look at the bench. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. So it's that simple. and do that as many times as we have been instructed to do these. Don't overdo it. Remember that we are practicing to create a foundation. And I can promise you that doing these lessons 1 year is not going to be enough. I highly, highly recommend that you consider making this, doing these daily lessons, just a habit in your life. Because as you hear the same lessons, I've been doing these for 6 years now. So as I'm hearing the same lesson that I've done for all these years, I always get something that takes me just a little deeper, a little bit more clarification. So thanks a bunch, and remember, we are magnificent.